Are you struggling to know how to talk to your anxious teenager? You want to help them, but you just don't know how. They are feeling trapped inside a world that they think nobody understands. Maybe they're feeling broken right now, and they're the only one that's going through this anxiety. Possibly they're avoiding situations, maybe even avoiding school, avoiding friendships, and they're spending a lot of time in their bedrooms, isolated and alone. It's understandable that they would be avoiding situations if they've had panic attacks in the past. But this is not a very good coping strategy because it just reassures them that the only way they can cope is through avoidance. And this isn't going to serve them well in the long term. They need to be able to step outside of their comfort zone and take on small challenges, as that's how their confidence in themselves and their self-esteem will improve. If your child has tried talking to you about what's going on, it can be easy for us to trivialise what they're going through. If they're worrying about an upcoming event, and we'll say to them, it's no big deal, or you'll be fine, or these comments help them to feel even more isolated and that nobody understands them. What's a lot more helpful is to say, right, I can acknowledge that you're feeling this way, and repeat their words back to them so that they know that you've heard and understood. And encourage them to think back on times where they've handled a similar situation in the past. How were they able to do that? Because if we're trying to dismiss their thoughts, then it's only going to exasperate the problem more. Try and think of ways that you can encourage them to look after their well-being. Could you do things like some yoga together, or go for a walk in nature, perhaps go for a run? And that way, they're all ways that we can improve our well-being and help us feel more secure and grounded in who we are. There's lots of other things that we can do as well. We can help them with breathing techniques and teach them to have more confidence in themselves. Praise them a lot. Every time that they've done something well or been brave or stepped outside of their comfort zone, praise them and ask them how it felt once they actually were able to do that, because we want to encourage more and more of that same behaviour. So it's really important to praise them and encourage them to just take that little step that they're trying to avoid. It can be tempting to just tell them to get on with it or just do it because you're exhausted at all the refusal. But remind yourselves, they have a very, very real fear. This is important to them and they're going to do everything they can to avoid it. So break a task down into the smallest steps to see exactly what it is that they can do to move forward in this situation. It can be tempting to turn around and say to your child, yes, you're stressed too, you're feeling anxious. So just be aware of what you're doing and seeing if you're projecting any fear onto them. Just take a little check-in with yourself and see, is there a way that you could model the behaviour that you want them to start acting out themselves? Or if you aren't able to do that yourself, then is there somebody else that they look up to and admire that would be able to be a role model for coping with difficult situations? Because sometimes just by mirroring other people, it gives us the confidence and courage to do something that we didn't necessarily think that we ourselves were capable of. Now, I hope you found this helpful. If you have, then please like and subscribe to my channel. And if your child is still struggling with anxiety, then you might want to have a little look in the description, and there's a link to how you can have a quick call with me and we can discuss exactly what needs to be done to get to the underlying root of the problem that your child is going through. Thank you very much.